Good morning, friends and family of friends. Happy Friday the 12th, everyone, and welcome to the end of the week and the start of what should be an awesome weekend. Well, we're still in Egypt, and we thought we would share some video from our trip down the mighty Nile and some exploration of the ancient sites that we visited along the way. We certainly will revisit some of these sites in greater detail next week, as we have only begun to scratch the surface here. A few things you might watch for in the video playing out behind me. Well, one is boatside vendors who come up trying to sell us rugs and tapestries during our cruise. Towards the end of the video, you will see hot air balloons, and I never knew that they utilize them in this part of the world. What an awesome way to see this country. And towards the very end, pay special attention to how small we are when we are standing at the base of the Great Pyramid. It does help put things into perspective a little bit, and I don't think I'll ever get past the fact that this was all done by hand, probably 2,000 years before the advent of electricity or pneumatics. Just mind-boggling and fun to try to comprehend. Did they get a little bit of help? Who knows? You decide. This morning, sunrise was at 5:16, and sunset will be at 8:35, giving us 15 hours and 19 minutes of glorious daylight to enjoy. Presently, it's 55 degrees outside, give or take a little bit depending on exactly where you live. You know the routine. Today, you should expect intervals of cloudy skies and clear skies, with a very slight chance of a stray shower mixed in there somewhere. Highs will reach the mid-70s with winds out of the northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sounds like a truly awesome day teed up here for us. From our family of friends celebrating birthdays today, happy birthday Nikki Quayle Sieber, Ray Hecker, Clarice Prado Showalter, Jessica Reed Miller, Jeff Richards, Todd Wilcombe, and Tim Lowe. Our celebrity birthday shout-out starts with the brother of James Franco, who played Cole Aronson on the 9th season of the TV series Scrubs, then had his breakthrough film role in the 2012 comedy 21 Jump Street. His other notable films include Now You See Me, Neighbors, The Lego Movie, and Nerve. Dave Franco turns 35 today. Our next celebrity was the recipient of a contract with RCA Records after his winning finish on the television program Nashville Star. He has released #1 hits like The Man I Wanna Be. Chris Young turns 35 today. Our next celebrity is a beautiful movie actress who is best known for her major roles in the movies Demonic, Magic Mike, and The Occupant. She is also recognized for her recurring roles on the television shows The Office and Rescue Me. Cody Horn turns 32 today. All right, moving on to this day in history. On today's date in 1831, gangster Al Capone and 61 of his men are arrested for bootlegging by the Chicago police unit known as the Untouchables. And it was a pretty good movie. On today's date in 1987, U.S. President Ronald Reagan makes his famous proclamation, "Tear down this wall," in a speech calling for the leader of the Soviet Union, Mikhail Gorbachev, to tear down the Berlin Wall that had divided West and East Berlin since 1961. The Berlin Wall would ultimately come down 2 years later in 1989. And on this day in 2013, the world's oldest man, and oldest man in recorded history, Jurumon Kimura, died at the age of 116. Kimura died of natural causes in Kyoto, Japan. How awesome! Well, obviously not his death, but his life. Born in 1897 and passing in 2013, the things he saw and experienced over his lifetime are truly amazing. Technology went from horse and buggy to man on the moon, computers, the internet. He witnessed countless wars, including 2 world wars. Just amazing. All right, from our comedy corner, my friend is a medical professional who does circumcisions for a living. He doesn't get paid much, but at least he gets to keep all the tips. Today is National Jerky Day, National Peanut Butter Cookie Day, National Red Rose Day, National Loving Day. Today's morning motivational is a simple, undeniable truth. I am too positive to be doubtful, too optimistic to be fearful, and too determined to be defeated. So true. Remember, you don't really ever lose until you quit. And few things are as powerful as a determined person. We say it every day, you have the power. Well, we thought we would wrap up this awesome week with a nice river cruise down the life-giving and historic Nile River. Let's dive into the origins of life on the Nile. The Nile River flows from south to north through eastern Africa. It begins at Lake Veronica, located in modern-day Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya, and it empties into the Mediterranean Sea, more than 4,100 miles to the north, making it one of the longest rivers in the world. The Nile River was critical to the development of ancient Egypt. In addition to Egypt, the Nile runs through or along the border of 10 other African countries, namely Burundi, Tanzania, Rwanda, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Kenya, Uganda, Sudan, Ethiopia, and South Sudan. The soil of the Nile River is rich in nutrients due to the large silt deposits the Nile leaves behind as it flows into the sea. The banks of the Nile along its vast length contain rich soil as well, thanks to annual flooding that deposits silt. From space, the contrast between the Nile's lush green riverbanks and the barren desert through which it flows is clearly obvious. For millennia, much of Egypt's food has been cultivated in the Nile Delta region. Ancient Egyptians developed irrigation methods to increase the amount of land they could use for crops and support a thriving population. Beans, cotton, wheat, and flax were important and abundant crops that could easily be stored and traded. Egyptians also used the river for bathing, drinking, recreation, and transportation. The religious connection of the Nile was significant. You always wanted to be buried on the east side of the Nile because, well, that's where the sun rises from the earth every morning. Today, 95% of Egyptians live within a few miles of the Nile. Canals bring water from the Nile to irrigate farms and support cities. The Nile supports agriculture and fishing. The Nile also has served as an important transportation route for thousands of years, right up to this day. However, the silt and sediment that used to flow north, enriching the soil and building the delta, is now building up behind a hydroelectric dam. Instead of growing in size through the soil deposits, the delta is now shrinking due to erosion along the Mediterranean Sea. In addition, routine annual flooding no longer occurs along parts of the Nile, impacting water quality. Despite that, the Nile River continues to be an important trade route, connecting Africa with the markets in Europe and beyond. As usual, Belinda and I hope that you enjoyed this journey across the globe and back in time. We will continue this journey in Egypt next week. We certainly hope you can join us. We do appreciate the time that you spend with us each and every day. Our goal is to offer a mix of entertainment and education in each and every one of our Morning Minute posts. After all, knowledge is power, and we do love to share what we come across, and you guys know it. We hope you are enjoying the experience. Please continue to like, follow, and share us with your friends and family. That's super important, and we can't tell you how much we do appreciate it. Thanks again for your time. Make it a great day, and take this weekend by the horns and make it awesome. You do have the power. We'll talk to you soon.